This is the Illimitable Experience podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Illimitable Experience podcast. If you're watching this video, like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. We are posting great content regularly. With that, today we have as our guest Keval. Hi Keval, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Keval, for people who will be listening to this episode for the first time, can you just tell the highest that you have made in your life? The highest.
Okay, so that refers to the highest climb of mine, I would say the top of the world. So yeah, in 2019, I successfully climbed Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain in the world. And apart from that, I have also climbed six of the world's highest mountains. And yeah, I am a professional mountaineer and have been climbing mountains since a very long time.
Right. Okay, well, yes, that is what was really needed to start the conversation. We'll go slowly. So, Keval, you are a professional mountaineer, but as you know, I've seen that people usually have a different life before they start following their passion. So, what was that you're doing before being a professional mountaineer, and what motivated you or changed your mindset to become a professional mountaineer?
Before getting into mountaineering professionally, I pursued automobile engineering. But when I, was in my final year, I realized that, okay, this is not something which gives me happiness, or this is not, like the thing that I want to do in the near future.
Hmm.
But long back when I was in my seventh grade, my parents, they sent me on a hike in the, Himalayas, and I immediately fell in love. So I made a point that every year in my vacation period, like maybe on my 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, I used to go on a Himalayan hike. But that was just, during the vacation times. But then later on, I thought about it that why not, do something to follow this passion and make it a profession. So in the beginning, yes, definitely it was a very big struggle to, now it's so easy. You can Google up and you can search, but before it was such a difficult time. I talk about like 10 to 11 years ago. So not many things available, and even internet was not available where you can search and, find out that, okay, how it is done or what it is done.
Hmm.
So at that point of time, I decided no matter what it takes, but I am going to become a mountaineer and I'm going to follow my dream and, do something or whatever it is possible in this field only.
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what used to do. So was there like a particular incident or apart from this, you being sent to the Himalayan trek in your grade seventh or eighth, like a particular incident that made you like yeah, confident can yeah, now I'm like confident to pursue a profession like mountaineering as a profession.
I would say experience, because the my father's intention was, he always used to mention that, nature is the best teacher. If you want to
Hmm.
learn something, whatever you learn from the books will be there as a knowledge, etc. Fine. But here to live life, it is all about survival. And what best place than, where you have to survive on a daily basis. So nature will teach you those instincts naturally. And there are so much of things to grasp or learn from. So once you go there, you'll automatically learn what even I cannot teach you or the books cannot teach you. So I thought this in mind and I said, yeah, sure, why not? It sounds exciting. And it has that thrill element and something to learn, and I was always a curious child, so I wanted to learn new things. So that raised the bar really high, that oh, okay, where does a waterfall start from, what is its source, what lies beyond the mountains, and so many things to find out answer for. And I think that led my journey already. So I would say, maybe I resumed it quite a bit later, but my journey had already started when I first took my first step in the mountains.
Nice. That's true. There is a quote that goes that a one good friend is is equivalent of a entire library. So replace that one friend with the nature, and then you have the some knowledge of more than a library, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll like to share my personal experience as well over here.
Yeah.
I was probably in sixth or seventh when my parents sent me to this camp called Durshet Forest Lounge. Yeah, somewhere in Maharashtra. It was
Yeah.
quite a long time ago, so I don't remember it exactly. And I happened to go there, and wow, that was really a good experience for me. And that is where even I fell in love with the process of trekking and camping and
Yeah.
etc. etc. Midway, I lost it again. But since 2016, I made it a point where I do at least one trek per year. So
That's
that
great.
has been, I mean, I've been doing since 2016, and I
Yeah.
really enjoy doing that. I think it takes only a one day to complete one trek. That's what I've done so far, right? But
Yeah.
the longer ones I intend to do, but at a later stage, maybe, when I have put my mind to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
so, Keval, देखो, you obviously now you have done a lot of treks and campings and mountaineering, etc., before going to the Everest. Now let's talk about Everest. That at what point of a number one, when did you give it a thought, or did you even have that ambition कि यार एक दिन Mount Everest climb करना है? Because it is not something that everybody puts their mind to, right? लोगों
Right.
को like
Right.
पैसा कमाना होता है, business successful करना है, job
Yeah.
लेने, etc., etc. But
Yeah.
ये Everest वाला thought कब कब आया?
When I took mountaineering, as a profession, I started guiding. I started going to the mountains with different people, and somewhere or the other, Mount Everest is that one mountain which is recognized by all. You name it,
Hmm.
a kid, you name it, an adult, you name it, an old person. They all know and talk about Mount Everest. They will be always like, oh, have you climbed Everest? Have you climbed Everest? So
Hmm.
it was like, it is everybody's dream. And also they know how difficult it is to climb Everest, and the story behind it, and what goes and what are the problems, and what areas should we work on, etc. So I think that is where I heard a lot about Mount Everest, and then I thought, okay, being a mountaineer, definitely it will be a great thing to climb the world's highest mountain, because
Hmm.
you climb mountains, but definitely to reach the top of the world where there is no land beyond. So that is like you have reached the last point. So definitely it would be one of the best feelings, and I wanted to experience it. But along the same time, mountaineering for me was not just like a sport or a way of following my passion. It was my lifestyle now. So I would think about mountains. I would eat about mountains. I would drink mountains. Like whatever is necessary in the mountains, I'll do it on a daily basis. So it changed my lifestyle. It made a new lifestyle for me, the mountaineering lifestyle, I call it. And I think that helped me to not just climb Everest, but then there was this mindset that every mountain is equally important, whether big or small. And there are challenges. Yes, definitely Everest may be very famous, but there are so many mountains in the world which are equally challenging. They might be 5,000 meters, they might be 6,000 meters, and they are equally challenging. So never consider that any mountain is big or small, and give your best every time, and work hard with whatever you have. So I think
Hmm.
yeah, that is what I learned from the mountains, and that is what I followed on a long term basis.
So okay, so that is what led you. So ये Mount Everest का जो uh, climb करना when you thought, right? So is there like should I say experience, certain years of experience that you need, and after that you become eligible to climb Mount Everest? ऐसा कुछ होता है like in mountaineering of क्या बोलते हैं fraternity में?
See, there is no requirement or anything written as such, but I would definitely like to say that you never go to an examination hall without preparations, right? The only,
Hmm.
if you go, the ultimate result is failure. So here
Hmm.
in the mountains, it's about life and death. And
Hmm.
we are going into the extremes. Like things may change, and no matter if it's a commercial expedition, also, if even if it's a guided expedition, still lots of people die due to different natural calamities. But to assess that is very important. Like recently, people were climbing Mount Manasulu, and there was a huge avalanche. So we do risk assessment, and then they came to know that there is a huge avalanche risk because of the heavy snow accumulated, and the conditions, are not so favorable. So they turned back, and the expedition was called off. So when to take such decisions, and when things go bad, etc., you should have a proper knowledge of the terrain, the proper knowledge of the conditions on the mountain, also the good knowledge of weather. So all this is taught during the mountaineering courses, where you
Okay.
practically study everything. Yeah, you're on field, you're in the mountains. And so I think it's really important as a mountaineer to go through this process and learn it, so that you do not fall into danger, and you do not get yourself killed. So I think
Mm.
that journey is really important. I must have spent like 27 minutes on top of Everest, but to prepare for Everest it took me around 7 to 8 years. Meanwhile, during that period, I climbed various mountains, I did different treks, and I polished my skills, so that in case of emergency I could use them and I could save my life. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
helped me make this experience more lively, more better, and a wonderful way of cherishing the mountain.
Wow. It's 7 to 8 years now. I mean, this is a lot of information. So you have to break it down as a bit by bit. You said that
Yeah.
in a mountaineering course, you are taught to analyze the risk assessment.
Yeah.
So ये like मतलब it's is it like a bachelor's course ऐसा कुछ होता है या it is like anybody can do it?
So now there are in India, if I talk specifically, there are around
Mm.
5 major institutes, and
Mm.
they conduct these courses. If you talk about worldwide, so there are different institutes, and they also conduct courses. There are courses conducted in US, there are courses conducted in Australia, etc. So those are the certified courses. Along with that, there is a body known as IFMGA. So
Mm.
it is the International Federation, and that is UIA certified, and it's like a full-time course. So you get a like a degree in mountaineering, and then you can
Mm.
guide all over the world, and there are certain protocols to be followed, etc. But then you can work as an international guide. That gives you a certificate to work as an international guide on different mountains. So yes, it's
Mm.
kind of a degree, I would say. It takes
Mm.
definitely years, different theoretical knowledge, different practical knowledge, but it can be
Mm.
done. And it's one of the toughest course that they say available
Mm.
to become a mountaineer. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you do the risk assessment if you're not led into the particular mountain? Like तो आपने बताया कि you had to do risk assessment for Mount Everest. Now
Yeah.
obviously it's not that you get access to Mount Everest like very easily. तो वैसे जो mountains है which are far away, तो how do you do the risk assessment for them? Do you like take the weather reports and do something with it?
Yes, definitely. Weather is a very crucial factor because it keeps on changing. No, I
Mm.
cannot predict from now what will be the weather next year. You know,
Mm.
so it is like maximum 1 day, 2 day, or even we say today in the morning, if it's sunny, it might rain in the afternoon or in the evening. So at such altitudes, you never know what will be the weather be, and it's not an accurate calculation. So, but
Mm.
we still try to follow, and we have some predictions from the meteorological departments of different countries. So we try to follow those and make a analysis of what we observe. If there is cloud formation, if there is wind, what direction is the wind, from the valley side to the mountain side, or from the mountain side to the valley side. So there are
Mm.
different calculations that we are taught, and we learn that, and we assess that, and we have to be very observant of what is going around you. The weather is changing, the wind is changing, the wind direction keeps on changing. If it's snowing, how much did it snow, did it snow much or not, etc. So lots of things, so much of factors. What season are you going in? So before, it used to be considered, like if you're climbing big mountains, say in the region of India and Nepal. So in the
Mm.
Himalayan ranges, it used to be like there are two seasons mainly: pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. Those are the ideal conditions to climb. Then comes winter. So winter is again the most challenging season to climb. And then there is monsoon. So monsoon, it's raining all the time. Again, it's a difficult task, rock falling and everything. So you have to select the season wisely, and then you have to understand the conditions. So it's a long study that we make before going to the mountain. And yeah, I mean, see, a mountain is made up of rock, snow, ice. That's it. So these are the features on the mountain. And when you go
Mm.
higher, the tree line vanishes. So all you
Mm.
have to understand is different formations. what formations are dangerous. Like if there is a hanging glacier of ice, if it's hanging, that means its base, it's not stable, so it can
Mm.
fall down anytime. So you do not want to stand below it. So these are
Correct.
certain things that you have to observe, use little bit of common sense according to the condition, and just go with the flow.
Oh. And this meteorological department that you're talking about, so was it only India meteorological department or Nepal as well that help you to analyze कि अच्छा Mount Everest पे these are the risks करके?
Yeah, so nowadays there are so many different companies that provide the weather reports. Like, if you search
Oh.
online, yeah, there is weather forecast by snowy mountains, and then there is 8,000-meter peak, etc. So you can access now weather from government also, or else from different private institutions also.
Mm-hmm. And are they like really accurate? Because I mean, ये कभी कभी क्या होता है, the meteorological department gives the report कि अच्छा ये दिन पे बारिश होने वाली है सिटी में, और वो दिन
Yeah,
होती ही नहीं, it's a bright sunny day, it's a very common
yeah.
occurrence. तो ऐसा मतलब mishaps होते हैं उनके calculations में, या they are like dead accurate?
No, no, no. Definitely there are, because see, as I said, weather is unpredictable. It keeps on changing.
Hmm.
One wind can change everything. If the wind changes its direction, the clouds will also change the direction, and then whatever rain is supposed to come there, it will go somewhere else. So you can never predict that. And as it is said, the uh, to understand the mountains and the weather, you have to be out there. I cannot sit in my home, in my office with the equipments, and I can only calculate
Hmm.
certain air pressures happening or the
Correct.
depressions created in the sea, etc. So these are the
Hmm.
factors that lead to it, but they can alter and they can change with the actual thing happening. So yes,
Okay.
definitely there is no such 100% prediction. And
Uh-huh.
always there is that when whatever is predicted, there is like I would say 80% chance that it might change
Go.
around. So yeah,
Okay.
it's very unstable and very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you climbed Mount Everest in 2019. So
Yeah.
अभी उससे पहले मतलब did you ever like go to Mount Everest to do this risk assessment to Nepal? Yeah, is it जो reports थे वही only you relied on the reports itself?
No. So in 2016, I hiked all the way to Mount Everest base camp. So,
अच्छा.
from where the trek begins and where the climbing begins. So I
Hmm.
hiked all the way up to the base camp, and I stayed one night at base camp, and then I, looked at the mountain, and, I was trying to understand how it is, what it is. But it is not just a 1 day process that, if I think, okay, today is the day, that day on the same next year I'll climb it. No, it keeps on changing. And, it's a very long process, 40-45 days you are at the base camp, and you are
Mm-hmm.
climbing to camp one, shifting your gear, setting up tents, then you're going to camp two, acclimatizing your body as well. You cannot gain height suddenly, so you have to acclimatize till you reach camp four. So 8,000 meters is the dead zone that we say.
Mm-hmm.
So the air pressure is very low, and the oxygen available for the body is very less, so your body cannot absorb all the oxygen. If I'm at sea level right now, I am having a saturation of 100%, but when I go there, my body will take time to adjust to the pressure that is created by the altitude. So
Hmm.
the acclimatization process and everything, you have to be very careful. If you have headache, nausea, you cannot climb further, and you have to descend down, and so there are two golden rules for that. One is drink plenty of water. Second is climb high and sleep low. So your body gets slowly used to that height. Then you again push your limits, go up, then come down again, sleep down. So multiple rotation, and the weather keeps on changing
Um,
multiple times. So if I say that I have studied the weather on so and so date, it will be the same. It's not possible. The conditions
oh.
also might will not be possible. So every year, you go, you have knowledge that the camp is, camp one is at this altitude. Then you have knowledge that camp two is here, camp three is here. You know the location, you know the altitude, you know everything about it. But when it comes to actual thing, when you're on field, then everything is changed, everything is different. So
Hmm.
yes, I think no matter how much you study the mountain decides whether you will climb or not.
Wow. I mean, this sounds so fatal as well when you said, right? Okay, you have to go climb high and sleep low,
Yeah.
and the death zone as well that you talked about. Now, Keval, you climbed in 2019, but you are preparing for 7 to 8 years. So in those 7 to 8 years, what does the preparation look like? Like, is it completely focused on mountaineering? Yeah, is it like महीने में 3 बार ऐसा कोई trek कर लिया and that is your preparation? How does the preparation look like?
So as I said, mountaineering requires lots of, it's like enduring sport, I would say. Lots of
Hmm.
endurance training. And as I said, I love the mountain. So I made a point that, it became my lifestyle. So I used to train on a daily basis for 6 to 7 hours, not just from the mountain perspective, but to keep myself fit and healthy. Also, I fell in love with the fitness regime, etc. So I think, yeah, I mean, I used to train in different attributes like do cycling, do swimming, do weekend hikes, etc. Do rock climbing. So I stay in Maharashtra, Mumbai. So we have Western Ghats nearby, and the rock structure is really good. So there are so many pinnacles where you can go and climb, do rock climbing, etc. And yeah, it's a full body workout also. You
Hmm.
train all your muscles, and most importantly, it helps to boost your confidence, which we need the most in the mountains. So along with that, yoga or mental training, etc., like meditation, etc. So
Hmm.
after understanding my body, my limits, what is needed, I made a personalized schedule and a plan, and I started following that.
Okay. So in terms of fitness and in terms of diet as well, how
Yeah.
like diet is also you change if you want to go for a mountain? Yeah, is it the regular like roti sabzi wo sabhi khana?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I followed the same regular diet, and there were cheat days as well, because definitely, you're living in the city,
Hmm.
and when you're back home from the mountains, you need a good meal to eat, to crave on to, etc. So yeah, I mean, I always made sure that even if I'm eating unhealthy, or if I'm eating something which is not, suitable for my body, but I always made the point to burn it off. Like if I'm consuming more calories today, then I'll work hard tomorrow and burn them off. So that has always been my calculation.
Mm-hmm. And the fitness that you talked about, like going to the gym and cycling and everything. So had it become like a Virat Kohli level of discipline के रोज 3 घंटा workout रोज x whatever the hours that you decide as a workout रोज मतलब वो करना ही है no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, definitely. So, I believe in two things, that if you work hard today, that will be, saving your life tomorrow. So, may it be in any regards, if you are putting efforts today to maintain your health and fitness, then you will be, away from the diseases, etc. And, you will be living a better and a healthy life. Same goes in
Mm-hmm.
mountaineering. If you are preparing well today, so in the mountains, your efforts will reduce, and with that you can enjoy the views as well. And if so basically, I was climbing Everest, and when I came down, so nearby camp 4, I saw somebody lying down, and I thought that person is dead. So I went close to that person, and I still saw that person breathing, but very faintly, and a reduced breath. And immediately I gave him water, I gave him my energy bar, etc. Then he came to his senses, I increased his oxygen flow, and then I had a word with him. So and he was an Ironman athlete. He was like 6'2", and he was exhausted, dead exhausted. And I had to carry him. He weighed more than, I think, what, 90 kgs or so. So I, with my one hand, I supported him on my shoulder and started taking him down towards camp 4. So then we got him down. I got some Sherpas also in between for help, etc. So we got him down. We got him through a chopper back to Kathmandu, and then he was saved and he was alive. So if you are well prepared, and if you are, made yourself so capable, then you can also be a part in saving somebody's life. So that is really important. If you only
Mm-hmm.
struggle, how will you help somebody? So I think that is really important to me, that I train every day on that basis, that my training or my fitness could be helpful in any which ways on any moment of time.
Mm, right. So this is your pre-preparation, strict
Yeah.
diet, strict
Yeah.
exercise, strict
Yeah.
cycling,
Yeah.
endurance, and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And how did you like all these things of strength conditioning and everything? Are these also taught in the mountaineering courses, or did you hire like a personal trainer at gym and give him specific instructions? Okay, this is what I'm working on.
Also, basic things have been taught in the mountains, like how to train, how to do exercises, etc. So morning it starts in fact with a run or a jog or a warm up, and then you come back and there are uh, training drills happening, etc. So it's like almost a military level of training that goes on.
Right.
Along with it also, you have this somewhere or the other, how to train your muscle, what impact on your muscle, where will help you train that muscle. So if I talk about mountaineering, lots of feet footwork, because your whole body you have to carry, plus lots of weight on your shoulder, so your shoulder, your lower back, etc. So as per that we target those areas, and then you pick up over the years, and also with
Mm.
help from expertise like who are in this field. So we can tell them that I want to increase the strength of my shoulders because I have to carry lots of weight. You tell them that my legs do lots of workout, so I need good calves and I need good strength on my hams, so that when you are doing certain movements they help you a lot. So these are the pull power, the push power. So you also collaborate with different I collaborated with different trainers who have been working out, etc., and all, and who have done a proper depth study of it. And then we devised a routine that could help me achieve my goal. Not exactly
Mm.
like, I do not want to be bulky or build up a body, etc., because I know that being heavy weighted also is somewhere or the other not so beneficial in the mountains. Already you
Mm.
have to carry weight, and as you go higher your body becomes heavier, and it's very difficult even to take one step with the lack of oxygen. So then, we devise a certain plan to keep myself light, quick, etc. Staircase climbing included, load ferries included. And then in this process, I learned a lot and I started training, and it helped me a lot, in fact, to climb
Mhm.
successfully over the years.
Right. And how much weight does a person carry when they are climbing the Mount Everest? Because I went through your profile and I had seen
Yeah.
that मतलब इतने equipments थे ना, like I don't
Yeah.
even know the names of them.
Yeah.
So ये मतलब कितना on an average weight carry करते हो when you climb Mount Everest?
Or depends. So, somewhat around what I carry is somewhat around 15 to 20 kgs on my back. you know
Okay. Okay.
yeah, because sleeping bag, you have to carry your down suit, you have to carry your mittens, you have to carry your harness, carabiner, then extra food, etc. And yeah, so I personally love to carry everything, because I've trained for alpinism and I do everything on my own, so I love doing that. So I carry somewhat around 15 to 20 kgs. But nowadays, with the technology in use, there are so much of lightweight equipments, and like they have designed them so well, replacing all the heavy materials and metals with the light ones. So I think, yeah, with year after year, the weights are getting reduced of the
Mm.
equipment, so that is really helping, and they are very sturdy and warm, etc. So before, if you used to have like multiple clothings, you have to wear
Mm.
multiple layers, say 5 layers, 6 layers, 7 layers, etc. So now you can just wear a down jacket or a down suit, and that will help you protect, from minus 20 or minus 15 degrees Celsius. So that's a huge,
Wow.
and down is so light, it get compressed, etc. For vegans now, there are so many other options. People who do not want to use down, they have vegan synthetic jackets, etc. That are completely like animal cruelty free, etc. And they are really nice and warm. So I think, yeah, with
Mm.
changing time, this is changing. Every year after year, try to reduce my weight. Whatever there is new gear, I try to upgrade it, so that even 1 gram less is like a huge relief. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you brought this veganism up because क्या हुआ है कि मैंने ना I have talked to a few mountaineers, who not who have climbed Mount Everest, but who do the mountaineering thing regularly.
Yeah.
तो मैंने
Yeah.
उनके प्रोफाइल देखे, I have talked to them and they also say they are also vegan. I
Yeah.
know someone who has been to expedition in Antarctica.
Yeah.
He is also vegan. And
Yeah.
there's this guy named someone named Parth Upadhyay who has also
Yeah.
climbed Mount Everest. तो
Yeah.
उसमें भी वीगन प्रोफाइल, उनके प्रोफाइल में वीगन लिखा था. सो इज इट, व्हाई इज इट दैट ये वीगन होना जरूरी है if you want to do all these things?
There is no compulsion. So Parth, I know personally, he's not vegan exactly, but he wants to become a vegan. So
Okay.
we were on Mount Annapurna climbing together, me and Parth.
Hmm.
And it's, see, basically, if I talk about veganism, it's like basically a lifestyle for people, who love animals, and they believe that animal cruelty is happening on a large scale. And I know people. So I was very fortunate to share my tent on Everest with somebody who was a fellow climber from Australia, and he is a vegan. So he climbed Mount Everest with me. On the same day we were on the summit, he was raising the vegan flag on the top, and yeah. So basically, it's not such a difficult task. Also, I am a vegetarian. So,
Uh,
but still, I find my sources like paneer, etc., very important for me, and that is why it's very difficult for me to turn vegan. But I follow a very vegetarian like diet by religion also and by belief also, and
mhm.
everybody has their own faith and belief. So some people, they think that veganism suits them and it's best for them. So it's not impossible now, but yeah, it's a very good practice, I would say. And any
Okay.
which ways, your digestion goes low because of the oxygen level going low. It's very difficult. Many climbers who are eating meat, etc., they quit meat while they're climbing big mountains. I've seen many to
They,
they quit
they
meat.
quick,
Quit.
what did he say?
They quit meat.
Acha, quit meat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
While they're climbing, during that
Mm,
time, they do not eat meat because meat is very difficult to digest, and it can cause stomach problems and other things. So I've seen such people, and with a
mm,
very I think a vegetable diet is easy to digest, and you get good amount of proteins, etc. So I think that has
mm,
been very nice and best for me. And yeah, I mean, there is no harm in following veganism, and right
mhm.
now everything is available, so definitely you can work on it and develop
Mm.
something around.
Okay, so as such, there is no like a benefit to turning veganism, but it's a personal choice. कि अच्छा
Yeah,
veganism में
yeah,
करो करो तो
yeah,
it's a better thing करके.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. And what is this alpinism that you talked about? You said that you have done alpinism. What is this
Um,
alpinism?
so basically, in mountaineering, we have two types of mountaineering. One is traditional and one is alpine style. Traditional
Mm,
mountaineering is very expensive. That is actually like a commercial expedition where you set up camps and where you
mm,
put it, etc. And alpinism is something which is known as the purest form. So there have been debates over the years by mountaineers that what is pure, what is not pure, etc. But alpinism is using those techniques on your own, and doing everything on your own. So at some point, it increases the risk on the climber, but also your skills become very well polished, etc. Route finding and everything. There is no rope laid already. You have to go, you have to climb on your own, and make your own trail, etc. So alpinism has gained popularity. And before, when I talk about like people climbing back then, like in the 1950, 60, etc., so they were all known as alpinists because majorly they found out new exploring new routes, they climbed by a new mountains, etc. And they did not have much of a help, like no guide. They used to go there, sit there for months, see the mountain, understand which trail to take, which is the safer and the shortest route. So they did reikis and everything. So that is how alpinism was born. And
mm.
yeah, and nowadays also, now I see the upcoming generation is also more into alpinism, and they're trying to develop the skills and do alpinism because it teaches
Oh,
you way more than just
oh.
following somebody's footstep. So
Okay. Okay, so it's just a upgraded style of mountaineering, you would say?
not the upgraded style, I would say it is the original style that started, and now it
Acha,
is coming back. Yeah,
back into picture, right?
yeah,
So you reach Mount Everest, okay, and you have decided कि I'll be starting my क्या बोलते हैं scaling today. So
yeah.
what are the challenges that you face, and how does it start? Like, is it yeah, like just how does the journey overall start? That do you start
uh,
facing difficulties right from the start, or is it after stages?
No, definitely, the moment you start climbing, I climb from the south, that is from the Nepal side. So there are different routes to climb Mount Everest. So far, 16 routes from where you can climb Mount Everest. But famously, there are two routes that have been, climbed. There one is from the north, that is from the Tibet side, and the other is from the south, that is from the Chinese side. So most of the people, take that route. And yeah, immediately once you set foot on the south side, there is a huge glacier, the Kumbu glacier, So it's a ice fall. And
Hmm.
in the Kumbu ice fall, there are these huge towers, 80 feet, 100 feet, and they keep on collapsing. And it's a moving river of ice. So it keeps on moving, but it is not even noticeable, but it changes. So even to get to first camp, we start at night, late night or early morning when the conditions are good, because ice is not stable, and it's a
Hmm.
completely ice. If ice gets warm due to the sun, it will fall, it will collapse, because there
Correct.
is melting happening and it will not be stable.
Correct.
Whereas when the ice becomes more cold, it expands due to the excess cold, and then it will crack. So both
Hmm.
ways, too much of hotness is also not good, too much of cold is also not good. So you have to find a suitable weather or suitable condition when it's stable, and then you have to keep moving. So once you keep the step, like in the Kumbu, I remember when I went into the Kumbu Icefall, everything was so nice and firm. And we were at the end of spring, just before monsoon. And before monsoon arrives, we were coming down, after summiting the mountain, and everything has changed. So there were river puddles, and suddenly the ice there, it was gone. And there were rock, because of daily the heat increases. And yeah, it was completely changed. You cannot even recognize where did you come from. So yeah, this
Um,
is some certain thing that you face on the mountain, and it's absolutely every step you have to be careful. And think that it should not be your last step, so you have to very carefully place your step. Yeah.
uh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you plan your journey? Like, do you put a target कि आज इतना meters का climb करना है या it completely depends on the situation.
It
Do you
completely
have?
depends on the situation. Yeah. So we make a schedule, like on the
Hmm.
first rotation, we call it different rotations. On the first
Hmm.
rotation, you cannot directly go up. So first rotation, climb high, sleep low. So I'll go to camp one, I'll touch camp one and come back and sleep at base camp. Then second rotation, I might go to camp one, sleep one night. Then I go to camp two, touch there, and then come back to camp one, sleep at camp one, go back to camp two, sleep one night at camp two, go touch camp three, and come back to base camp. Then when the weather is good, now I'm finally prepared and I don't have any headaches, or I'm ready, and I'm acclimatized. Then I think about the summit. And when you're going for the final push, summit push, then on Everest we skipped camp one, so we went from base camp to camp two one night. Camp two we stayed extra night, so that our body is powerful and well recovered on the upper journey. From camp two to we went to camp three one night, camp four like half a day, and then summit, back, and then down. So this was what
Hmm.
I followed on Everest.
ये जो this pattern that you follow, that climb and sleep low, is it compulsory to follow? If you don't have headaches, you can go ahead as well.
You can, but this is a golden rule that we say. So,
Acha.
if followed, it is beneficial. And definitely,
Hmm.
on bigger mountains, you will, because, altitude takes a toll, no matter even the locals or the people who are
Hmm.
born and brought up there, the Sherpa people, they are very
Hmm.
closely born to the mountains, and, they have a body which is used to that. But still, at times, they get affected and they are altitude sick, etc. So you have to be very careful.
Okay. And what does a day look like when you're climbing? Like, do you climb 2 hours initially, then take lunch, then again 2 hours? What does your schedule look like when you're climbing?
Not exactly. The main goal is to stay hydrated and keep yourself energized. So there
Hmm.
are breaks where maybe say, suppose if I'm going to camp one, I'll start at somewhat around 2:30 in the night, and then I'll try to reach early morning before the melting starts. So sun hits, it becomes very exhausting also and dehydrating also. Whereas if I'm going from camp one to camp two, I would taken easy, because it's not that the terrain is not that steep, etc., and it's like a flat thing to walk for 2.5 3 hours. So I can easily start late a bit, like by 6:37, and then go ahead. And
Hmm.
meanwhile, in between every half an hour 1 hour, I keep on drinking water to keep myself
Hmm.
hydrated. And along with that, some energy bars or some dry fruits, etc. So it's always there in the pocket. So whenever you feel like less on energy, or when you feel that your need to have something, like your sugar levels dropping or something like that, you immediately consume it.
Okay, so as such, there is no like a lunch break or a dinner like
Yeah.
that dinner break. Only the
Yeah.
dry fruits do the work. Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you sleep when you're climbing?
Depends. So, if it's a windy day, you get good sleep some days you do not, there are so many avalanches happening. You constantly hear the sound of cracking and noise. And when you're on ice, when you're on glacier or a crevasse, it keeps on shifting. So you can feel the
Mm,
vibration and everything. So yeah, it's a very tough time sleeping in camps there, high on the
mm.
mountain basically. But yeah, at base camp it's quite comfortable. You have this air mattress and everything, so sleeping bag, cozy place and environment. So we try, to focus and sleep well. So whenever we get time, we just lie down and try to relax.
Oh, okay. So is it like dedicated hours of sleep that you need in order to, stay alert? कि अभी समझ लो when you're climbing, usually like a person needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Okay, a
Yeah.
regular person. But if you're climbing, तो ऐसा मतलब 4 घंटे का नींद चाहिए या just quick naps, quick naps every time.
Uh, no, not necessarily. Depends. So basically, what happens is sometimes we get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Sometimes we get 10 to 15 hours of sleep, depending how tired you are, how much have you hiked. Because obviously, your body to recover from that will need two things. One is food, and one is the rest and the sleep. So
Mm,
after a summit push, your body gets exhausted. So you need more sleep now to recover. Also, low altitude, so that your body recovery becomes faster, because the
mm,
oxygen and the pressure matters a lot for your body. And the higher you go, your sleeps become less. Automatically you will not be able to sleep more. And due to the lack of oxygen, and your brains will function slowly, every process will become slow. And yeah, it's very tough and challenging to get that amount of sleep. But to understand your body, you have to, if you are very tired, you're very fatigued, then you have to work hard and focus on that. So with
mm, mm,
time and
mm.
experience, you understand how to build that.
How to build that, okay.
Yeah.
And washroom is another important thing, right? That since you are
Yeah.
constantly hydrating, and
Yeah.
so how do you deal with the washroom situation? Like if somebody has to pee or if somebody has to shit, how do you deal with that?
On 8,000-meter peaks like the big mountains, base camp is comfortable. We have toilet tents, etc. But as we go higher, so we cannot carry such extra things. We have to be very minimalist. So what we do is we dig the ice, make a pit,
Mm,
and build a small wall with snow, so it will obstruct the winds. So it's
mm,
like a T-shaped wall, and then you can, on the front it's a pit dug, and you can poop and pee there. But
okay.
very difficult with the winds, and with the conditions and minus sub-zero temperatures, and with all the gear that you're wearing, the down suit and everything. So
Mm,
yeah, it's a very challenging task to do.
challenge. So does not consuming a lot of food help in this case? Your shitting frequency reduces या ऐसा कुछ? या even
No.
the dry fruits का
Yeah.
भी कुछ ऐसा रहता है?
Yeah. See, it's like try to eat simple food, which gets digested easily, more of
Hmm.
carbs, etc. So we say dal bhat power is the best, in the mountains. It's like dal bhat power 24-hour. So most of
Hmm.
the Sherpas, they eat dal bhat, and it's good source of protein also and carbs also. It's a very balanced diet, as we say. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, you know, at times many people have not been able to climb because they have got diarrhea. There are so many people, yeah, who turn back just because they have diarrhea and they cannot manage. It's very difficult to climb with conditions like diarrhea. So I think the eating habits are really important. Your diet needs to be, well organized and well thought of.
Hmm.
And yeah, along with that, these are all the challenges, so you have to be prepared for it somewhere or the other. And yeah, I mean, you cannot do anything else to, reduce this, or, make something organized it. So you have to learn to live with it and go with the flow.
So, wouldn't you recommend if let's say if I'm coming with you, okay, on the Mount Everest, and I
Yeah.
get diarrhea, so
Yeah.
मैं थोड़ा, I come down in altitude, I take meds, and then I try to join
Yeah.
you guys again. That is fine.
That is fine, absolutely fine. But that's what I said, the window is very small. if you talk about a summit window, the winds on the mountain are very high. There are jet stream winds like 80 to 100 to 120 kilometers per hour at a time. And only you get a small window when the winds reduce, winds are lower. So there are 2 to 3 days. So you start climbing to the summit. But if the winds are high later on, if you don't get a window, the season ends. So then what you will do? So you
Hmm.
have to make the maximum of whatever time is available. So you have to be prepared also early. You have to be acclimatized also, so that when this you get this window of 4 5 days or 5 6 days, you cannot waste it.
Okay. Okay. So in simple ways, you have to be completely fit, right, from your mind to the your
Yeah, yeah,
digestive system or
yeah,
whatever problem you
yeah,
have,
yeah,
and
yeah.
no chances of any setbacks in your own body as well.
It would mean that better luck next time, I would say.
So in such a case, अभी समझ लो किसी को अभी वापस भेज दिया, ठीक है? So
Yeah.
does that mean कि his trip ends there and there, या he can rejoin ऐसा कुछ दिनों बाद ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है?
Yeah, so if there is another weather window, as I said, after few days, then he can
Hmm.
rest, recover, and then try again. Or
Oh,
else, if there is no weather window, then next season, because the
next
season ends
season.
by, yeah, May end. So by
Hmm.
May 29th, 30th is the date where the melting starts rapidly, and then it's the arrival of monsoon. So after that, very few teams decide to stay. Most of them they turn back because the ladders collapse, the crevasses become big. So basically, the danger on the mountain increases, and then to avoid that, you have to turn back. And it is said that if you're alive today, you can climb 10 more mountains tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
you have to push yourself so much that you forget that, you have a life to live also. No mountain is worth dying for. So definitely you can come again, train well, and
Hmm. And try again, right?
yeah.
And what was it like when you reached the top of Mount Everest? Did you like, how was your overall experience? Like, did you feel like mesmerizing to see the beauty, or were you like really afraid to have reached such a top at such a height and then going down again is a huge task?
No, definitely not. I would say that, it was one of the best feelings ever. I know there is no land ahead, and wherever your eyes goes, you see mountains and this beautiful landscape, etc. And so many different mountains around. I could see Makalu. I could see, where Amadablam very far, like in small, faintedly, and then yeah. I mean, it's like a emotional drive there. You have worked hard for so many years, and finally you are there, and then the immediate question comes in your mind is what next. What next. So I think that is the level of curiosity that I have, that I know one journey has ended, but then automatically in my mind another journey takes place, that okay, no, I see mountains right in the horizon now, so maybe that next and that next. So I start thinking of that. And yeah, I on that top I spent 27 minutes, and I remembered my family, my friends, and everybody. I thank God for making me so capable that I could reach this point, and I'm alive to see all of this. And I could show it and share it to the world, that how beautiful it is, what is the other world that look like. And I think, yeah, I mean, I was emotionally so happy, and so much of mixed emotions. I wanted to cry, but it was so cold that I couldn't
Hmm.
cry, because even the tears froze,
Yes,
and
freeze.
the skin comes off. So you have to be like in control. Also, you have to tell that this is just 50% done. You have to still get down after
Hmm.
utilizing so much of energy to climb up. Now you have to put more efforts to come down, because there is this gravitational pull. Your body is exhausted, and now your goal is done, you have climbed. So your mind is basically, there is less amount of goal and worry. So you become careless at any point, and that may cost your life. Majority of the incidents on the mountains have happened when they are descending. Almost 80% people have lost their lives while descending. So you have to be very extra careful, and understand your body also, understand the conditions also. So I think, yeah, there is this pulsating thoughts in the mind, and to harness it is really important. So there is where the experience comes in,
Hmm.
how you should control your thought, what you should think about. And yeah, that is really
Okay.
important.
So
Yeah.
even that is taught, like when you reach the top, how to deal with it?
That comes automatically, when you're
Automatic.
climbing over the years. Yeah, it comes as an experience to you.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. And since you said you spent 27 minutes at the top. Now, is it obviously it's at the top? So while you were descending, do you have like a stops, or you just directly come down, 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 and to the base camp? ऐसा बीच में halts रहता है या direct down?
Yeah. So the camps that we stayed while going up, it depends. So when I was coming down from Everest, the weather changed. It got, windy and everything. So I stayed back at Camp 4, and then I, came down to Camp 2 the very next day, and then I again climbed Lhotse, the neighboring peak. But at times, it is good to come as much as low as possible, because the lower the
Hmm.
altitude, the lower the risk, and along with that, the lower the, the higher the chances of your body to recover, because automatically the increase of oxygen, and your
Hmm.
body will start getting more rest. So yeah, it is advised that, after climbing, summiting, it is till the point, you're comfortable, you should come that low.
Okay, so it's just in one go. Got it. Right.
Yeah.
Did you at any point in time while climbing or while descending like got a nearly fatal experience? Ki, oh shit, this could have costed my life. Yeah, you were like very much in control of your own thoughts.
I was very much in control, but at a point, yes. So there, I posted a video also on my Instagram page. So there was a huge avalanche that came sliding, roaring down from Camp 3, and
Hmm.
I was stunned for a minute. I was recording it on my GoPro, and I got so stunned that I did not realize, oh, it's coming towards me. It was afar, but at any point, because it's very, it comes with a force, and like a
Hmm.
bang, it comes. And then nobody was around me. I was like, oh shit, and then I ran to the left without even thinking, and there was a hidden crevasse, and I fell into that. But I had my ice axe handy, and I know how to come off a hidden crevasse. So I immediately, so you could see that in the footage, holding a GoPro, I'm running, and then I fall down, and then I'm
Uh,
putting my ice axe, I'm tumbling and coming up, and then again I'm shooting, and I'm now at a safe distance. So
okay.
yeah, at that point I thought, oh shit, I'm gone. I am gone in a
Uh,
crevasse, like completely gone. But then yeah, I made it up, and the experience helped to come out, and it was a safe,
wow.
and I became extra cautious then.
Cautious, right? Wow. I mean, the presence of mind is certainly needed
Oh,
in
very
such
much. Yeah, very
situation.
much. Yeah,
You don't
on the
have
mountain,
a time to
you need a
think also. Okay.
Yeah. Immediate reaction. On the, mountain, you say the presence of mind, or maybe you say, observations, like the condition, so, there are the slopes, we call the magic slope. So 45 to 48 degrees. So if there is
Hmm.
fresh snowfall, these are the first things that from there the snow will land, and it will become a huge avalanche. So, we try to avoid that. And there are so many different protocols taught to us to take, precautionary measures, etc. So
Hmm.
immediately you start, mind starts churning it, what to be done, what not, etc. It starts differentiating. So that is how you can avoid being in a situation like this and
Hmm.
save yourself.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think
Right.
that really needs to be done very well.
Very well. Hmm. And this full journey of climbing, right from climbing to descending and reaching the base at sea level, how
Yeah.
much days or how much weeks does it take to complete one
Dep
full trip?
Depends. Some people do it in 25, 30 days. Some take 40, 45 days. Depends on
Hmm.
how good weather you get, how much days you're spending on the base of the mountain, and how well acclimatized you are.
And how much time did you take to complete this?
I took my time. So, I climbed two mountains, Mount Everest and the neighboring peak Lhotse. And
Hmm.
both I climbed in a span of 6 days, from the summit of Everest to the summit of Lhotse in 6 days. But overall, Everest and Lhotse, I think it took me around 42 days, somewhat around 42 days. And
42
after that
days.
also, yeah, I stayed in Nepal to relax. And it is 29th of May is the Everest day. So there is
Hmm.
good celebration in Nepal. There is this functions happening and all. So I stayed back for that as well. And I was not in a hurry to come back home. I was just relaxing and recovering, eating good food, etc. So yeah, I
Hmm.
took for that.
And say, you have completed this trip in 42 days. तो ये जो provisionings होते हैं dry fruits के या water
Yeah.
के, so you
Yeah.
yourself have to take it, or the people who stay there are there to support, or the base camps are there to support and provide
Yeah.
also?
Yeah, so there are logistics at base camp. You have a cook, you have a Sherpa, you have helpers to the cook, etc. So when you're
Mm,
climbing, they are at the base camp only till you come back. They will stay there. They make good food for you, very hot cooked food. So
mm,
yeah, and also if anything that you want. So helicopters now constantly keep on coming for dropping supplies. There are mules that bring supplies and everything, yaks, etc.
mm.
Yeah, whatever you need, you just need to tell them. When you're gone, they will get it for you.
Okay. And God forbid ऐसा कुछ हो, right? कि a person dies in while descending or climbing or whatever the
Yeah.
scene is. तो ये जो शेरपा होते हैं, like, is there like a do you have to communicate with them that if you find my dead body, then what do you have to do with it? या ऐसा कुछ, या they understand कि if it's gone, the person is dead, it's dead, nobody's going to find it.
No, definitely. So if anybody dies on a trail or anything like that, there is an information passed on to the base camp that so and so person from so and so company, has met with an accident or is not doing well. And
Hmm.
then the Sherpas, they, talk to their families, and if rescue operation is organized or need to be
Hmm.
organized, because it costs lots of money and manpower. And they are the only ones who can go up and do the rescue. Helicopters can fly up to a certain height, but after that they cannot fly. So then it becomes very difficult and dangerous. So I
Hmm.
think yeah, that information, once it's passed, they take a call, and some families decide to get the dead bodies down, some don't. So still there are so many dead bodies found on the mountain, because it's again spending so much money just to recover it. And if the person is gone, the family decides that they should rest in the mountains, so definitely they don't want to.
Hmm. That's a, I mean, that's a very sad thing to know as well, if somebody dies on such an ambition. Hmm.
But
And
see, that's all part and parcel of life. Life and death
right,
is not in your hand, but that journey is in your hand. So when you are born, you did not choose to be born. Somebody else did, and you are here. And when you will die, nobody knows that time, how your life will be. But in that period, that journey is really important. So you have to, make that journey the way you want it to be, or the way it is good for everybody. So I think the focus should be on that rather than thinking about life and death.
life and death. And obviously, ये तो waiver तो you will be signing, right, before the
Yeah, yeah.
so who like, ये किसके किसको sign करते हो? Because you went yourself, right? You did not go
Yeah, so
like.
the companies that are organizing, they get a
Hmm.
waiver sign that if anything happens to, the company is not responsible, etc.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it is a part of the
But
deal with the.
you went yourself, right? Not in
Yeah, yeah,
a group and everything. So
yeah.
who did you sign the waiver to?
So I went with a company who was organizing my, there was Satori Adventures who were looking after my base camp services, like my food, my tent, etc. and all. Yeah. So I had to sign a waiver with them.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, Keval, we have talked everything about your Everest journey and everything. So now, Keval, you completed your Mount Everest expedition. After you came back in the city, right, where you're living right now, what
Yeah.
was the reaction of the society? Did you get felicitated or
Oh,
awarded for some everything? Like, क्या हुआ था after you came back?
Oh, it was crazy. So again, I posted a video. People were at
Hmm.
the airport to greet me. All my friends, my relatives, they are like, you fulfilled our dreams. We could not do that, but you have done it for us. And yeah, it was like amazing, overwhelming, hundreds of people meeting me every day, coming to meet me, to congratulate me. And so many felicitations, like, from the community, from my place where I stay. And lots of mountaineers around. And yeah, it always feels special, if you accomplish a goal, it is like, it is an inspiration for others also. So I did Everest and Lhotse, and I became the first Indian to do so. And then later on,
Wow.
now every year everybody wants to do Everest and Lhotse, so they are trying. And lots of people after me have done it in a short span now. And yeah, I got a national award, national recognition for that. That is the Tenzing Norgay. So I did some winter climbs as well. I did other climbs also. So it really feels good, and it motivates you more. When I see that trophy in my house, I feel, what can I do more, to make my country proud, to represent my country, and to be a better human being for the society. So I think that is, not just an achievement, but it is like a motivation for the next. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it has been really a blissful journey, and I have climbed 6 8,000ers, and many more to climb ahead. But every time, I start from the scratch. Every climb is a fresh climb. Nothing with that oh, I have climbed so many mountains. Yeah, the experience helps me get better, but I do not think that, oh, I have climbed this, I'll climb this also. I have climbed the world's highest, so this also. No, for
Mm.
me all the mountains are different, and they have their own set of challenges, and I can only survive if I have studied them well, I have understood them well, and I have connected and bonded well with them. So that is really
Oh.
important for me.
Wow. And this award that you talked about that you're felicitated with. So
Yeah.
like ये किससे मिला था? Like this the chief minister of the state या governor
No,
of
this
the
this
state.
no, so this award is awarded by the honorable president. So our honorable president, ex-president now, Ram Nath
Hmm.
Kovind ji, on the National
Hmm.
Sports Day, presented me with this award, the Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award. That is the highest award for adventure category in India.
And you had flown to Delhi to receive this award, right?
Unfortunately not, because of the COVID and everything. This ceremony was conducted online. So I had been to the Mantralaya, which is here, the parliament that is in
But
Mumbai. Yeah, I've been to Mantralaya, and from there it was aired online, and virtually I meted and greeted the president, and they, after 1 year, when everything got settled, they had organized a small event where they provided the trophy. So I met the honorable sports minister, Anurag Thakurji, and others as well. So yeah, it was really great meeting them and listening to them, their vision for the upcoming generation and the sports athletes, etc.
right. I mean, congratulations. I mean, I'm late
Thank
to congratulate you, but congratulations on this big achievement.
you.
And it's really great that you've made the country proud, and you've made your community proud as well. And people will inspire to achieve this feat who want to do it.
Yeah,
Um Right. And Keval, this is your post climb as well. This Khelo India movement, right, which is started by the
yeah,
government, I think that has really uh, given a great impetus to the sports, because I was also talking to one of the guests who has represented India in Malkham in various
yeah, yeah,
internationally, right? And he's quite famous. He has come on shows like India's Got Talent, Dance
yeah,
India, Dance and everything. So even while I was talking to him as a guest, he told me that this government is really supporting the sports people, the athletes, and that is why
yeah.
you are seeing people doing well in sports in Olympics or the Commonwealth Games. So you can see the result as well. So that's quite evident now.
Yeah, yeah, I would say, see, the prize money that was, provided by the government before was 5 lakh rupees. For ages, it was the same. But the
Mm.
year that I got this award, the prize money changed to 15 lakh rupees. Now you can imagine the difference, 3 times the
Three
amount
times.
that you were getting immediately. And
Mm.
along with that, see, basically an athlete gives 100%. He has to train hard just to complete that and to come above and perform well. He has to work hard and hard. That is the only mantra to success. If you are not working enough, then you will not succeed. I mean, not you not perform that well. So to perform, you have to focus on only one thing. Whereas majority of the athletes, if you see, they come from a lower background, or a, not so financially well background. So for them, this amount means a lot, especially mountaineering. It's considered as an individual sport, and it's not like among, because there is no medals won. Here we compete with ourselves, for our betterment, I would say, but also for setting up examples. So it's like an
Mm.
individual sport that you're doing for your achievement, etc. But at the same time, you are representing your country. The moment I reach the top, the first thing I do is take out the Indian flag and I take a picture with that, and that is the best moment for me. So when
Mm.
you're doing that, you're representing your country, and I think for that purpose, that feeling, you don't think who helped me or who did not help me, or what. Only thing is, as a citizen, it is my responsibility to raise the bar for my country in whichever platform possible, so that people hear a lot about you and they want to learn a lot about you. So when I climb, they say, oh, India is blessed with the Himalayan range, we would love to come and explore the Indian mountains. So this will, when automatically the others will come and climb in India, it will generate revenue for the locals, as adventure tourism will boost in India. So we are blessed with the Himalayan range. Only thing is that we need to, the government now needs to organize well, and think more about it slowly. This government is focusing more on other sports, not just cricket or some like famous sport, but it is also pushing for skiing, for winter sports. The Khelo India movement has been organizing winter sports in India on a larger scale now. So many winter athletes are coming ahead, and there is winter Olympics happening. So there are, I know a few people who have been participating in winter Olympics now, and they are trying their best, and I'm sure with some time and more experience and practice, they will excel also, and we will get gold or any medal it is. But I'm sure we will win that over a period of time.
Over
But
a period of time.
but
Mm.
the journey has begun, where now people are also taking such sport. So that is really recommendable.
Right. People are choosing sports as a sincere and serious
Yeah,
career
yeah,
right now.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Hmm. Keval, we'll move to the last part of this conversation.
yeah,
Now,
sure.
definitely, after putting 7 to 8 years, going to Everest, risking your life, being felicitated by everything. That is, everything is a is a good way for an outsider to look at it. But let's be realistic also over here that the finances that are involved, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how things work in for mountaineers and everything, so you can explain me that. So can you put some light on how much the finances are involved? How does the supporting an athlete who wants like you who wants to climb the Mount Everest? How does the system work?
Definitely a very crucial part. Even before starting the expedition, you have to enroll for one. The royalty fees to climb Mount Everest is 11,000 US dollars. So you can imagine almost 9 lakh Indian rupees. That is the royalty fees, just the fees to enroll. And
Okay,
then after that, you have to get a permit, and then you have to hire a Sherpa, hire a cook. So that cost you another 10 lakhs more. And after that, you have to, get good gear and everything. And also that will cost you more 5 to 6 lakhs. So if you're climbing Mount Everest, it will cost you 25 to 30 lakhs minimum, and the maximum is like endless. The services and everything keeps on varying, but basic thing is 25 to 30 lakhs. To raise that money, definitely it's a very challenging task. People working hard and training hard, and not easy for everybody. Because they say it's not a rich man sport. Why will he take, there are so many problems and everything that you have to face. So why will somebody pay money to get that pain, right?
correct.
So yeah, very few passionate people come across and excel through this. And I think, yeah, the easiest way is to find sponsorship. But again, that is the toughest way. When I began my journey, my first 8,000, I was rejected by 182 sponsors. I still remember the count, going office to office, giving them, my presentation and everything and all. But if you are, if you have really that passion, and if you think positive, and if you do not give up, then someday it will happen. I did not give up. I said, okay, if rejected by one more, it's fine. If rejected by one more, it's fine. So if during my first 10 rejections, if I would have given up, then I would have not been here. One after the other, the number went high and it reached to 182. But still, somewhere or the other in my heart, I know that, this is what I'm born for. And if mountains have chosen me, they will automatically, show me a way and find out a way for me. I just have to try myself, like, from not restraining and not refraining or cribbing. I just have to give my best and keep on trying, and then the mountain gods and the spirits will decide my future in the mountains. So I
Sure.
think, yeah, it's a very challenging journey mentally. It's very disturbing when you go, and sometimes they treat you like, oh, you're here again to ask money, why are you here, just leave. And you feel like, oh my god, am I
Mhm.
begging? What am I doing? That is really, that mental set is to be important, that you're not begging money, you are representing a company, and for that you're asking your fees that is required to go
Mhm.
and climb. So yeah, I think it's really a difficult challenge, more challenging than climbing the mountain itself, but possible. Don't give up. if you're really passionate, if you have dreamt about it, don't give up. With time it will
Mm.
happen. Don't be in a hurry, don't rush. Take your time, take your thing, and definitely, someday it will happen. But do not get frustrated that, oh, I got rejected. Failure is just the beginning of a beautiful journey. So accept it in that way and keep working hard.
Hmm. And when you speak about these 182 companies, तो
Yeah.
देखो ये मतलब when you approach people for sponsorship, so who do you approach? Like, do you approach these big companies like Reliance and Tata, or do you approach people in the sports industry only?
Every company, I mean, not just Reliance, Tata, there is Mahindra, there is so many other companies related to mountaineering, not related to mountaineering, many of them. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's just a try, whenever possible, a company who can afford and who sponsor athlete. If you talk about cricket, suppose for example, Byju's is a learning app, or
App.
maybe a learn education company, but still
Mm.
it is, investing, or you can
Sponsoring.
say sponsoring,
Mm.
yeah, events that have been like cricket matches, etc. So
Mm.
a sponsor can be anybody who wants his advertisement, his name, and everything to be associated basically with somebody who is doing really good. So I think
Mm.
company doesn't matter. What really matters is what you are doing. If you have faith and confidence, you have to just portray it to them that I can,
Mm.
if we are associated, we together can make a big brand.
Big.
So that really matters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you got all this sponsorship of 25 to 30 lakhs, which is the bare
Yeah.
minimum,
Yeah.
the where does your responsibility end? Does it end after you have completed this expedition to Mount Everest, or do you have to like recover also and return it to them? कैसा होता है ये system?
No. So basically, it's not a loan. It's like a full-time sponsorship. So in return, when I come back, I take their flags on the top, so logos with their flag, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a deal that you have with them. So you have to fulfill, whatever the deal has been done,
Okay.
and it's like in return you do it, but you don't have to return the money.
Return the money, right? Uh, okay. You don't have to return anything. Now, Keval, I think we have talked everything about right from expedition to finances and everything, everything possible.
Yeah.
Uh, what lies ahead for you after now that you have done the highest, climbed the highest peak? उसके अलावा
Yeah.
उसके उससे उससे बड़ा कुछ है नहीं, right? So
Yeah.
अभी what is the next thing that you're looking forward to, or what is it that you want to do with your own future?
So many other mountains to climb, mountain after mountain, but different style, different techniques, new routes, new mountains, mountains that have not been climbed, mountains that have been climbed. So much to explore, It's not, mountaineering is a huge subject. And, I'm still learning many things and many new things incorporated. And yeah, there are so many upcoming projects that I'm thinking about. And, I'm into something. And, with time, definitely it will unfold, but this journey will not end so soon. So I think I'll be in the mountains till my last breath, and I would love to do that. This journey should be like longer, and with as much as possible I can climb. So yes, that is
Do,
the
do
plan.
you do you like ever wish to go uh, expedite the Alps or
Yeah.
any other mountains in the
Yeah,
internationally?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I've heard a lot about the Alps, like Chamonix, etc. So I definitely want to climb in the Andes, the Alps, and let's see the Rockies. So much to explore. The world is like a very big picture. So with
Mm-hmm.
time, definitely you need lots of money. You have responsibilities with time, so you have to manage that. So
Mm.
not everything together, but periodically and slowly and steadily we'll get there. And
Right.
yeah, it will be fun, I think, to explore that side.
Right. Keval, thank you for doing this. I believe we have had a great conversation. I mean, to have someone who has achieved such a huge feat on this platform is really a great honor for me to talk to you today. And I believe it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I had really had a great time sharing whatever I could. And I would just say, to all the viewers that, we are going through a global crisis, like the global warming is for real. And me being in the mountains, I've seen that. So let's, do our bit, whatever possible. like reduce the use of plastic and not throwing them in the mountains. Just responsibly, being the responsible tourist or being the responsible adventurers, and making, preserving this earth for our upcoming generation and making it a better place to live. So thank you
Right.
so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.